This is The Gorge. It is a podcast where my friend Sarah and I gorge ourselves on overanalyzing a topic. And Sarah, what are we talking about this week?
This week, if you couldn't guess, we're talking about Devil May Cry 5 for the PC, the PlayStation 4, and the Xbox One.
What? But Sarah, didn't that game come out Thursday night?
I'm very tired.
Are you saying that you managed to beat the game on this Monday when it came out on Thursday?
No, I didn't beat this game on Monday like some sort of weak coward who will go unnamed. I beat the game Friday night, bitches. What's up? Holla at your girl, okay? We're on another level in this household. We wake up at, when did I wake up? I woke up at 10 o'clock on Friday. I took the day off, okay? I took the day off from work because I have a ton of vacation hours. I woke up at 10. I had my coffee. I had my food, which, by the way, yes, was cold pizza. Thank you. And once I was all done, I settled in. I started Mission 7, and I didn't leave my couch until I beat Mission 20. Okay? Because that's how we do on The Gorge. We don't stop. I don't stop. You stop. But
I have to go to work, so I have to stop.
You got like a life. You're like a regular person with like a spouse and a job that makes you be there, and like family who make you do things. Meanwhile, my family's just like, oh God, she's in her fugue state. Leave her alone. Let her do her thing. I swear to God, I drank like half a bottle of vodka this weekend because I was just so on fire. And it was great. It was probably one of the better experiences of my life. I can't believe how fucking good this game is. I am like bursting with energy. Like, I've never had a game make me want to work out. But I played Devil May Cry 5 and I'm like, fuck, I need to get more fit so I can fight demons like this. It's incredible. I feel alive, okay?
It's like so invigorating.
Oh my God, it's incredible. The music and the energy, and it plays so well, and you get done with it and you're just like, God, by the time I hate to like already get to this, but by the time I was done with like the Cavalier fight, I was like about to erupt out of my skin. Are you kidding me? I just wanted to like go out there and fight the world. It was it's so good. Holy shit.
It's so good. I can't believe.
Oh my God. I can't believe.
So I think we should do this.
I have no idea how to start other than to go for 30 minutes. Okay.
So we're not just constantly freaking out. I think the way we do this, is we do our spoiler-free gameplay discussion, and then once that's cleared up, we will go use our bingo card.
Oh yeah,
and we'll use that as our springboard for the general plot discussion and stuff.
Because boy, that bingo card is it's interesting, y'all.
It's got some hits and it's got some misses.
But it's also got some hits and misses at the same time.
Yeah,
it's incredible. It's like flipping a coin and it landed on the edge. So you got that in store for you.
Yeah, but there's like so much gameplay-wise to talk about.
Oh God, we're gonna be here for like an hour because it's all so fucking good. When I
was playing Devil May Cry 4, I had this sensation, which was the first like 5 or 6 missions with Nero. I was like, I want to be playing as Dante. I would rather be playing as Dante. And then by the time like mission 6 got there, I was getting more comfortable with Nero, and then I switched to Dante, and I'm like, I would rather be playing as Nero right now.
Yeah.
This one was like, I was in with Nero, like 100%. I'm like, Nero is the best.
Oh God, Nero's moveset is astronomical.
Phenomenal.
Holy hell.
And then I played as V. And I was like, I'd rather be playing as Nero right now. And then I picked up Dante. And I was like, I want to do nothing but play as Dante.
See, I I'm no good with Dante. I guess because like I'm just too scatterbrained. I'm too much of an airhead. There's way too many options available, and I am 100% dumb, y'all. I hate to break it to you. I know I say a lot of big fancy words on this podcast, like, you know, all sorts of strange shit because I listen to a lot of YouTube videos. But I myself am actually extremely stupid. And so when you give me something like Dante, where Dante is like 7 different characters in one character. Are you kidding? No. So, I can't play as Dante. I can't, my scores, my ranks are all pitiful. They're all B's. B's and A's. But then, like, you give me Nero, which is, like, extremely clear-cut, and it's just, like, hit the thing really hard, get mad, and blow shit up. I'm like, yeah, I am on board. Nero is the best. And I really enjoyed playing as Nero in 4, like, a lot. But, oh, God, it is so much better in... What is that sound? Is that my dogs? Sorry. There's like a weird growling sound. I'm like, what on earth? Am I about to get eaten by a demon? Anyways, oh yeah, that is a dog. Would you shut up? Anyways, I don't know if I have to cut this part.
It's alright.
What was I saying? Nero rules in this game. Nero is just like on another level. The game is just, God.
So the cool thing about Nero, and this also, well, the thing that I liked about playing as Dante in 5 is that I got to pick which weapons I wanted, which was like the biggest problem in 4. Mm-hmm. And then they take that like customization from Dante out of his 4, and they give it to Nero in 5 because the breakers are the fucking raddest things ever.
The breakers are the raddest things ever, and I'm so glad that when they were marketing this game, they focused really hard on the breakers. Because the breakers are an incredible concept. They all work. I mean, there isn't one that I truly dislike. There's a few that I will not pick over some that I will pick every single time without question. Punchline. Punchline is the greatest devil breaker. Don't at me on Twitter. But they're all good is the thing. They all have such like depth of stuff you can do. And they all have so many just options, and you can mix and match, and you can just go crazy, and man, good.
See, my biggest fear going into 5 was like when I read that like the devil breakers are a finite resource and you can break them and lose them. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, I don't like that because I don't like not having all of my options available to me. I don't like that idea of like, oh, you broke it, now you don't get one anymore, now you lose a quarter of Nero's moveset. Mm-hmm. But they did a really good job of like making the window in which they can, like, you can lose them, like, really narrow. Yeah, if you can just, I mean... It's just old-fashioned Devil May Cry, baby. Just don't get hit. I mean, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game already. Listen, if you're playing Devil May Cry, like, correctly, you are already aiming to not get hit. You know what I mean? Like the whole crux of the combat system is don't get hit. And so just, like, keep doing what you're doing, and you're going to have a great time with Nero. And, like, most of the breakers are some kind of, like, small AoE effect.
Right.
That will usually knock everyone in your face away anyway. Yeah. Like, Gerbera, or not Gerbera,
Overture.
Overture, yeah, the first one you get. Just that palm attack is like, alright, well, they're gone.
That palm attack is insanely good. Overture is very, it's like not very, it's low frills, I guess is the way to describe it. It's not very fancy. It's a very simple, even its break age is just a bomb.
Yeah.
But that's why it's brilliant, is it's a great starter breaker. Like by the time you get to the end of the game, you're probably not using like Overture that much, but it is an excellent starter breaker because it gives you just like very simple, like, this is how breakers work. You know, you press a button, they do a thing, you hold the button, they do a big thing, and then you can detonate them to swap to a different, better breaker. And it's great. It's there's so much just like simple genius game design going on in this game of like teaching you step by step and leading you into it and getting you comfortable with every character's mechanics. Despite this being a game with only 20 missions, by the time you finish the game, you are, even my dumbass, is relatively comfortable with every character to a degree. Like V and Nero more so than Dante. But even Dante, by the end of it, you're starting to kind of understand, like, you know, obviously style switching and weapon switching, and oh my god, why are there so many options on this character? It's really cool, but also very overwhelming. And, god, yeah, it's genius. I'm gonna be saying this a lot, but this game is, like, fucking brilliant. Because it is. The breadth of options given to Nero now that still keep his gameplay interesting and are still, like, it keeps you on your toes. The deal is that if you could cycle through all of the breakers, Nero would be the most broken character in Devil May Cry. It wouldn't be fun anymore. It'd be too easy.
Yeah, it would be ridiculous to think that you can... When you learn what these things can do and how you can utilize them, the idea of actually having control over that is absurd. No,
it's not possible. Like, you would just not. Because, like, it would rub all the challenge from the game. So you have to have them be, like, a limited resource that can be easily destroyed. And that's really interesting to me. It's very, somebody called it Resident Evil, and I really liked that.
That's a good way of putting it.
It's very, like, resource management Resident Evil. Like, when am I comfortable to just detonate this breaker so I can go to the next one to, like, vary up my combos and stuff like that? Because we are still, at the end of the day, aiming for that SSS rank.
Right.
And the best way to get that is to vary up your attacks, which means at some point, and you get a ton of style for detonating a breaker, you can basically jump up a rank just by detonating a breaker with enough things around you. And so you've got to keep that in mind too. You've got to really think, like, well, what's next on the docket? What can I do? How can I use this? When should I use it to get as much style as possible? And it's like, it adds such a level of complexity that wasn't there before, because before it really, I mean, like, Nero is great in 4. Because the game is built around playing as Nero in 4. Nero is great in 4, but ultimately the goal is to buster something.
Yeah, his moveset is built around that thing.
Yeah, it's built around the buster, and the best thing they did was take the buster away and say, like, here's a bunch of crazy shit for you to just mix and match and go hog wild with. It's incredible. It's genius. And
they've also done so much with this sword moveset and with Blue Rose. Like,
Payline is so good. Payline is so
the best move to ever be
created. Everybody needs a killer bee. Who knew?
The thing about Payline and the thing about Nero is that Nero, for me at least, I don't know if anyone else plays him like this, for me is you do a basic attack and you pop him up and then you do your aerial combo, and then the aerial combo you can either do his knockdown or you can bring them down. If you do your knockdown, you have to follow up right away with the breaker to pull them closer so you can combo them again in the air. Or you can do Payline.
Or you just Payline.
Or you just dive into him.
And it's armored. It, like, shrugs off other enemy attacks. So it just turns Nero. It's so good because it's also, like, really the cool thing about, like, Devil May Cry is that, like, gameplay mechanics are often a really good expression of the character's personality. And so, because, like, you kind of saw that in 4 a lot with the Red Queen combo B, which is everybody's favorite Red Queen combo. You know, you get that a little bit with Red Queen combo B, because it's just him wailing on an enemy in, like, rage. And his 5 move set is just an evolution of that. It's this idea of Nero just being a tank. He just can just soak things up and deal out a ton of damage and shrug it all off and keep going, and it rules. It's an incredible expression of character, and you get the same thing with V and Dante, and I mean, Payline is awesome because of that. It you can brush off enemy attacks and just chase after something you just knock to the ground. It's amazing.
It's so good. It's like the
so
best
good.
move he ever got.
Hard Way is insanely good too. I don't know if you've played with it at all. That's the the holding attack where you're on the ground if you hold triangle.
Oh yeah, he does like the leaping slash.
Yeah, he does like the leaping, like just crazy bass. Yeah, it's so good.
That one's great.
I mean, just and the new combo D is really good, and just all of the little minor adjustments to just how he plays is amazing.
Just taking that window for Max Act and just expand, fling it wide open.
Thank God. Makes
So
that character so much more just again, versatile.
It's like, oh, use it now.
Yeah, you'll actually use it now.
You can actually, it's not like a single frame.
It's not a thing that a superhuman can accomplish. It's like for us normal people now.
You have a chance to do it. Turning Blue Rose into a fucking cannon.
Just a shotgun. It's just a shotgun, but they don't tell you that until you fire it.
Doing the charge up for your bullets and then just popping off all three into an enemy and watching that health bar disintegrate is that's the good way of doing guns, Devil May Cry 2.
The gun is so good. Like, man, Blue Rose is just... And like, just the little things. Like, you can... I don't know if you ever noticed, but you can... you can store your charge shot. I think I mentioned this to you when we were talking gameplay in the demo, or at some point. We were talking how you can store your charge shot so you can charge it in the air, and when you land, he won't fire it until until you actually hit the shoot button again. It's really cool.
I was trying to figure out what allows you to hold, what actions will allow you to hold your charge and not let go of the button and pull up, fire a bullet right away.
Right.
And I'm still trying to figure out which ones do. Going to a cutscene will allow you to release.
Okay.
Taunting does not. Attacking does not.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I think visiting Nico or a divinity statue will allow you to hold the charge.
Okay.
I'd have to mess around. I'd have to write down.
Yeah, technically
what I'm doing.
We should have wait a week to do this episode,
but,
so that we could study it some more and really get our elbows into to its guts, get all up in its guts. But
it's fine. No, I want to talk about Devil May Cry.
I want to talk about it right now. I can't wait any longer. I'm about to explode. It's so good. I've been screaming to everybody I know about this game for the last couple days. I'm just you don't understand. It's amazing.
It's finally here.
It's finally here. It took 10 years and it was worth it. It actually was worth it. It was the 10-year wait that actually ended in an amazingly good video game. You never need to play Devil May Cry 4 ever again. It's amazing. Holy God. So good. They just need to add Virgil, Trish, and Lady and that's not by the way, that's not a spoiler. No. Saying the man's name is not a spoiler because he's in a trailer, so whatever. Just add Virgil, Trish, and Lady, and fuck, you're set.
Once they add Virgil, Trish, Lady, and Bloody Palace, 4 is invalidated.
You don't need it anymore. Look, here's the good. 4 is, and that's the thing is that 4 SE is a really good video game, but 5 is.
But you don't.
I mean, it might be the honeymoon period, but I think it might be the best one.
If you want to play as Nero, play as Nero in 5.
Yeah, oh my God.
There's no mechanic.
Especially on a New Game Plus.
DMC 3 Dante is very different than DMC 4, being dedicated to a style. Yeah. Being dedicated to those weapons and stuff is a very different experience. Mm-hmm. The 4 to 5 thing, though, is like 5 is just built entirely on improving 4.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying, was that if DMC 5 had just been 4 SE, but like finished, it would be the greatest game of all time. And surprise!
It is. That's exactly what we ended up getting.
It's probably the best action game ever made. Yeah. It's so good. God, we're already at the 20-minute mark and we're only talking about Nero. See, I told you, we're going to be here for a while. It's going to be a long one.
There's a lot to talk about with just every single character.
Every single character and oh god, everything is good. Favorite Devil Breaker, go.
Oh, Mega Buster. No, I'm not even joking. I'm like I picked it up and I used it in a few battles and I'm like, this is amazing. This is a projectile that does real damage. You don't have to charge it up all the way to break it either. Right. You can do a partial charge. It has an auto charge.
Yes.
It's great.
It's pretty good.
Doing ground combo into aerial combo, and when you before the final hit, you fire the blaster and then you knock them down. It's great. There's so much combo potential with this one.
Yeah, I was I fiddled with it, but Punchline, baby.
Punchline's still really good though.
Punchline and like Tomboy.
I only used Tomboy a little bit. I didn't get a chance to use it more.
It's basically Exceed level 4.
Yeah,
and it's absurd. And Tomboy is, and it is definitely wild because you can't lock on when you use Tomboy. Mm-hmm. And so you just have to literally just fling the sword around and kind of like drag Nero in the right direction. But when it connects, it's real strong. It's really, really strong. And it feels really good. And big recommends to try Tomboy more, to just like go into the void and kind of fiddle around with it until you're comfortable. Because yes. And of course, I mean, like Punchline is Punchline. It's your big, you're surfing on a rocket fist.
Yeah.
And you can use it to do big uppercuts. So
it is the quintessential Devil May Cry arm. It is surf on your rocket arm and do cool combo stuff with it.
And it's great because you can use it as crowd control. Like while you're busy, you can literally just like throw Punchline at something else while you deal with another demon. And so like Punchline will just kind of be off doing its own thing in the background, just beating the shit out of a demon while you're like really focused on something else. So it's kind of like having a buddy and it's your own arm. It's great. God, they're all really good. Rawhide is insanely good. Fuck.
I do really like Rawhide. I like Helter Skelter is really good too.
Helter Skelter is very cool. Helter Skelter is interesting because it's definitely like you can't just use it once. You just keep mashing and it'll get stronger and stronger. It's a good aerial breaker.
Yeah,
if you can get an enemy in the air with you and use Helter Skelter on it, you can just like paste that health bar. It's great. I mean, they're all good is kind of what it's all boiling down to. Although I will say, if you got the deluxe edition or if you bought the DLC breakers, the Gerbera GP01 is just a straight up upgrade. Like it's not
it's just better Gerbera.
It's just Gerbera but better, and you should just use it. Like don't even, for one, it looks better than regular Gerbera because the white is really sexy. And two, it's just better. It has better mobility. Everything about it is just a better version of Gerbera, so only use that. Don't waste your time with regular.
You know what I did like about the definitive or the collector's edition with the DLC arms?
Yes.
Is that besides Mega Buster and Gerbera GP01, Pasta Breaker and Sweet Surrender are terrible, and they are not good to use, and they are straight gimmicks.
Sweet Surrender is good if you can find one in the environment when you're low on health. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like it's not one you take with you, and I appreciate that because that's good for not, like, punishing players who didn't buy the special edition, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, like, honestly, like, regular Gerbera is good. It's just that it's just that the GP01 is an upgrade. But the regular Gerbera is still just Trickster. You're still just doing Trickster as Nero.
It's Nero's Trickster, yeah.
and it does damage, unlike Dante's Trickster. So I'm failing to see the problem here.
Do you ever get the thing where, like, you have a crowd of enemies and you try to dash away with them,
and it
but
just, like,
Gerbera just brings
away.
them all with you, and you're like, all right, well.
It's so fun. It's fun to just, in the demo, if you played the demo, that room, like the hotel room in the demo, it's in the main game too, but if you played the demo, that's, like, one of the best places to, like, do that, because it's a little room, and the Helkina, I don't know, the Helkina, the Scythe guys, they all, like, flop around as you blast them with Gerbera, so you can just kind of, like, rocket around the room and kick these guys around. It's really funny. It rules. But yeah, no, I mean, like, the cool thing is that every Gerbera, Jesus, I've been saying that word too much, every breaker is valid. You're all valid breakers, okay? And, you know, you can build a whole moveset, except for the Buster Arm, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
Poor Buster Arm. It kind of gets invalidated by late gameplay.
Womp womp. A little bit. But it's like, it's just, what a cool mechanic. I'm really, really excited to see the potential that goes into it.
Yeah.
This is, like, ever since, like, I started getting kind of into HDQ, I'm always thinking, like, oh, what is going to be the arm that speedrunners always take? Like, what do they put 5 of, you know?
Right. I feel like it'll probably be Gerberas, like a lot of those. We actually had a speedrunner on the subreddit asking the other day for basically people to come in and tell them about their bugs. So, you know, I'll try and post that link on Twitter later. Somebody was basically coming in and saying, hey, if you found a bug, will you tell us? Because they're already trying to tech out a speedrun of DMC5. And unfortunately, the game is extremely well made and has a ton of invisible walls. Whoops. So so I don't know how much speed you're gonna get.
I mean, they did find that one glitch in Resident Evil 2 that lets you skip a huge chunk of the game.
I didn't hear about that.
In the library, if you get a zombie to, like, in a certain spot to bite you on this when they're on the stairs, but you're, like, on the landing, and then you carry that position, like, it'll lock your position in a weird way.
Right.
And you go up to the 3rd floor where the floor collapses.
Oh, you can just skip the floor collapse.
But if yeah, because you won't fall because your position will be locked in there.
Right.
And so you can, or, like, it's not, you don't use it to skip the floor collapse. Like, you use it to go out of world and then, like, re-enter somewhere crazy, and it's great. But that's
awesome.
They've already found that, and that's, like, amazing.
Oh yeah, they'll have this game teched out. I feel like they'll have this game teched out in no time. So, but still, I will be interested to see what a DMC5 speedrun looks like.
Yeah, like, what loadouts do you bring? Like,
what radioactive gameplay does a DMC5 speedrun generate?
Right.
It's actually funny, because DMC speedruns tend to rely very heavily on holy waters. Like, I watched a DMC3 Virgil speedrun the other day, and the tech to deal with Arkham is basically just holy waters, because one, Arkham is terrible. Fuck that shit. Yeah. Arkham is terrible. But DMC5 doesn't have items.
No. That was so weird, going to the shop for the first time and being like,
3 things, that's it.
Where's my green orb? I need to buy I need a health item. Like, what if I need, I don't.
Get good, idiot.
Yeah.
That's the name of the game.
Or just stockpile gold orbs.
Stockpile gold orbs. You're going to need them for that. Gorbs. I feel like Pat and Wooly have given me the fucking brain rot, because I say that, so I'm like, gorbs and porbs.
It's a good terminology. I'm like, so I legitimately stupid. Like using it. Rorbs.
It's so stupid. It sucks so much. Gorbs, porbs,
You gotta get all your rorbs so you can use Faust hat.
Oh God, we'll get to
You'll
Faust
get there in a
hat.
second, yeah.
What were we talking about?
Nero
in
arms,
general.
He's so fucking cool in this game.
He's
His
so
taunts are awesome.
All of them
I posted. I got his air guitar taunt. Like,
yes.
It's so hard to get like good taunt because they do the slowdown thing after battles, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so you can't get the like post battle cool taunt before your rank goes down, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but I managed to get the air guitar taunt, and I have a 30-second clip in my Twitter account.
It was just Nero just like rocking out. Yeah, no, I get the hoodie taunt. I love the hoodie taunt. I'll never get tired of the hoodie taunt. It's so cool. What a simple thing.
I cannot wait for hoodie runs of this game.
Hoodie runs are gonna rule. I wonder if I've never seen anybody. I wonder if it resets at the start of a mission. Surely, right?
Probably, yeah. It's probably just get S rank as soon as possible, put the hood up, and then go
right.
rest of the map.
Yeah. But man, no, just Nero's so cool. Everything he does, cool. He's just so
He's so much better in this game than he is in 4. It's
even
amazing.
As a playable character, and then as like a story character, he's so much funnier and so much more interesting. And they let my boys say "fuck" now. I'm so proud.
He does. I also love that he does the cool thing where he calls out which arm he's switching to.
Oh yeah, it's like Dante calling out his styles.
Yeah, instead of trick sword.
That's a tradition at this point.
Yeah, it is. You gotta have that.
You gotta have it.
But I just love like switching arms, like helter skelter.
It's so cool. It's all he's so cool. The voice direction in this game is really good too. We gotta take a second to say that. Liam O'Brien, yeah, that one did the voice direction for DMC5, and everybody sounds insanely good and natural in this game. Johnny Young Bosch sounds amazing.
So good, he
sounds so good in this game.
You can just tell that Ruben Langdon and Johnny Young Bosch were having a great old time doing everything.
They do everything, and they're just having fun. They're just partying. They're getting to say fuck. They let my boy say fuck. The first time Nero says, we're gonna take this fucking tree down, I was like, you can't say that in Devil May Cry.
It's a Devil May Cry game. You can't say the F word. It's like, did you ever see the Kamiya tweets? Where someone's like, I fucking love Bayonetta, and Kamiya's like, don't say F word.
Banned.
And so someone's response was, but Kamiya, you say F word. I do? And they show like him a tweet of him saying fucking, and he's like, how rude.
And then he blocked them for daring to question him. But no, like the first, because I mean, like the bad Devil May Cry says fuck, and we'll get into that. The bad Devil May Cry says fuck, and I'm like, if they say fuck in this game, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. And then it happened, and I was like, never mind. This is the greatest video game ever made. Nero can get away with it like so easily because he truly is the angriest man in the world. Like we've got to point that out to everybody. There is nobody, like maybe in video games, angrier than Nero. Okay. Nero is like the angriest person you'll ever. He's sweet. He's a sweetheart. He has a heart bigger than the world, but half of that heart is filled with boiling rage.
The guy is so fucking wound up. It is so, like
his like body language, because like this is the magic of the RE engine, which is definitely black magic and probably made from like ground up fairies.
Like I've gotta again say it, after RE7, after RE2, after this game, the RE engine is like the greatest thing to happen to Capcom since Mega Man came out.
It is literal magic.
The RE engine has changed the face of like action games. Like
amazing.
You can do anything with this engine.
And it looks astonishing.
Like there aren't like all these like photorealistic games. None of them look as good as Resident Evil 2 and DMC5 look.
And what blows my mind is like RE2 looks good, right? Like
yeah.
DMC5 looks better than RE2.
It's just astonishing.
I don't know what they did. I don't know what, like, horrible ritual they conducted in that office in Osaka to, like, make that engine do the things it do. But somehow, this game comes out, like, a month after Resident Evil 2 remake, and it is leaps and bounds better looking than the RE2 remake. I have no idea how they did it.
Like, did you notice that as the game progresses, Dante and Nero get more, like, cuts and, like, bruises on their face?
Which makes no sense for their healing factor, but listen, it looks cool.
Whatever.
Who cares?
It's so,
it looks
like,
so cool.
Like, just these, like, small details. Lady turns her head and she doesn't clip through the collar of her shirt.
Oh my god. And like, the most important part of the RE engine, and getting back to Nero being the angriest man in the world, is, God, the body language you can just read off of these characters is astonishing. Just to, the really subtle facial movements and, like, body positioning that would otherwise have to be kind of exaggerated to be picked up on in a 3D model. The RE engine can handle it with ease, and you can read everything going on. The cutscene, the one big, like, emotionally damaging cutscene of DMC5 would not have nearly the impact that it has if it weren't for the acting that's on display in it, you know? The rendering that's going on with facial expressions and body language, and it wouldn't have nearly the impact if it was still like the old anime DMC4 style. Like, this was a great decision at the end of the day. Everyone's like, I kind of miss the anime style. And at first I did too. I was like, I don't know how I feel about, like, realistic looking DMC. But now that I've played it, I'm like, oh, this is the only way it could ever be. Yeah,
this is absolutely the right decision with this.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. So,
if you're going to keep pumping out games in this quality, then it needs to be the RE engine.
Yeah, no, it's like I said, it's black magic. It does amazing things. And, wow, we are 37 minutes in, and we haven't even talked about the other two characters. Let's move on. Let's talk about V. I'm really excited.
About V. V is a very interesting character to play as. It is, I love it. I have mixed feelings about what I like about V and what I don't like about V.
Okay.
I like V every time I'm not fighting a boss.
I don't know. I think he doesn't have that many bosses is the thing.
Well, he does. Well, he doesn't, but, like, I don't know if it's just his bosses are bad, or I don't think V's moveset is suited for bosses. What I mean by that is, like, playing as V in normal battles with just a bunch of enemies around is, like, you can afford to stay away and let Shadow and Griffin do the work, right? Like, that's the whole point of V, is that V backs off, and he stands there and plays violin while
reads his book.
Yeah, while his pets destroy everything. And trying that with a boss doesn't quite get you that same level of engagement as you do when you're playing as Dante and Nero. You know? I just feel like it's harder for one thing, to get your style up on a boss with V than it is for Dante and Nero. At least for me it was.
I can't agree. I had an easier time getting my style up with on bosses as V than I do with Dante and Nero. Again, because I'm stupid. I tend to just kind of, like, fling myself headfirst into battle and damn the consequences. I'm really dumb. A lot of my boss strategies are basically bang my head against this brick wall until I knock a hole through it. And then go back and try it again, but this time do it right. Like, that's kind of how I fight bosses in video games. I do it really wrong the first time, but still win. And then I come back and I do it, like, the correct way. But with V, I don't have to worry about that, because the only thing that interrupts your style as V is V getting hit. It's not the familiars. So I can actually hang back and just keep an eye on V and make sure he's staying out of harm's way, and then maneuver the the familiars. And honestly, building style as V is like way easier for me on bosses than I guess for you. I had a blast once I got past the initial distance. There is a distance between what you're doing and what is happening on screen. And I think I was talking about this with a few people, including some veteran DMC players. What's up, Mills? We were talking about it, and it's like if you are kind of like a person who's been playing Devil May Cry for like a really long time, there is an adjustment period with V, because we are used to, as DMC players, kind of immediately getting a feedback for what we're doing. Yeah, we are used to, we press the button, sword hit, guy, and that is our feedback. We did a good thing because the sword made contact, you know? Now repeat that 500,000 times to get an S rank somewhere in there. With V, you do kind of have to set back and do more of like a battlefield management thing. And it is different. But once I kind of adjusted my priorities to understand that you are there to be a conductor, and to kind of goad enemies and basically to build Devil Trigger, which is kind of what V's whole set is built around building Devil Trigger.
Yeah.
And that is what makes it, and he gains it really fast.
He gains it hyper fast, and then you can spend like bars immediately to buff your familiars, or you can call in Nightmare.
Yeah, and Nightmare gets you big style points, big style points just for calling him in, and he belly flops onto the stage, and it's awesome. And once you kind of understand that and start kind of wrapping your head around, like, you are there to mitigate and manage and keep your distance and be smart with when you go in for the kill, because you can still take hits. You don't have any iframes when you're doing the killing animation. You can still take hits. So you have to be smart about when you're going to go for the kill and things like that. And I just really, really enjoyed it a lot.
I really liked playing as V. I just need to spend more time with him to really get... I never got used to him.
I don't know how I'll handle V on the higher difficulties. I got to mission... like 3 before I actually started Sons of Sparta, and I got past Goliath, and I got to mission 3, and I was doing okay, but I still felt like I was doing worse in my Sons of Sparta run in 5 than I ever did in 3 and 4. Like, I did pretty well in those early levels of 3 and 4 on the harder difficulties. And I feel like I was doing worse in 5, and I was like, maybe because I did kind of, like, enter a fugue state and play Devil May Cry 5. I didn't learn it as well as I should have. Like, I just barreled through the game. And I was like, maybe I should have taken my time, but also no, never. I regret nothing. So I'm back and playing it again on Devil Hunter mode to like, kind of taking it as little bite-sized chunks to absorb it better.
Yeah, it's also the thing where, like, V is the first character that's, like, entirely new.
Oh, he's so different.
We've played as Nero before, we've played as Dante before, we know how they play. Like, V's whole thing is something that's never been in a Devil May Cry game.
Right.
So it's like, no one knows what to do with V.
And it's definitely a learning process. The weirdness with inputs, which is, like, Shadow's forward attacks, they're based around V's forward, not Shadow's forward. Like, forward triangle.
That's the thing the one thing I don't like, and I don't know how they would do it without it, but, like, I don't like the directional inputs for V because of that reason. Like, I am playing as V. V's whole purpose is to back up and get out of the way, so I'm going backwards, and I'm trying to shoot with Griffin, but he does his Thunder Pulse move instead.
Right.
And it's like, no, I wanted you to shoot because I'm trying to get away from this bad situation that I'm in.
Right. It is a matter of it's wrapping your head around the fact that the directions are based around where V is facing, not where the familiars are facing. Which I guess makes sense in a way, because, like...
and, like, I can't think
otherwise it would be so confusing, because there's a ton of characters on screen when you're playing as V, you know? And yeah, I don't, like you said, I don't think there's a way to take the directional inputs out.
Yeah, they're necessary, but it's just like, it's that Devil May Cry instinct of like,
right.
You've never had to like back up and retreat before in a Devil May Cry game.
Yeah, but it's really good because it is something so different. It's a very different way to play, and I feel like when Bloody Palace hits in April, a lot of, like, Bloody Palace is going to be fun for a very specific subset of people who really enjoy V. They will probably have, like, a blast with Bloody Palace.
Mm-hmm. Getting a chance to play as V a lot.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that compared to Dante, and I guess it is because he is so new, and, I mean, frankly, it is super easy to build style meter as V. I think I S-ranked every single one of his missions. I
think everyone gets a triple S with, like, even if you've never gotten one before. My first triple S ever was with V.
Right, yeah. I'm pretty sure I S-ranked all his missions. So, you know, he's a good, different kind of character, you know? So, I'm looking forward to playing more of him. And the problem, and like, I guess what I was saying is that, like, because he is, one, very different, and two, kind of easy, like, his playstyle is definitely, like, it's great, but also it is very forgiving. That's why he doesn't have a lot of missions, because you play Devil May Cry to play, like, a hard video game.
Right.
You know? So. But I mean, God, I still, like, I don't know, there is something very satisfying about just, like, kind of stepping back and doing his conductor taunt.
Yeah.
And just conducting the orchestra, like, fucking Flight of the Valkyries, man. While in the background, you know, you've got Nightmare, Shadow, and Griffin just going to town. It's so cool.
It was funny because, like, I posted that quick clip of, like, V doing his violin taunt. And then, like, way in the distance, it's Griffin and Shadow just, like, hacking and slashing and stuff.
It's so good. It's primo comedy.
But then, like, when I posted that, like, I immediately saw, did you see the video from Resident Evil 5 that's been going around lately?
No. Oh, no, yes, the one with the piano.
Jill's playing the piano while Chris is, like, fighting everything in the background.
Jill, help! Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it's like. It's just V is off by himself, and then in the background his pets are just like trying to kill everything.
If we get multiplayer Bloody Palace, like everybody is saying, that is what it's gonna be. It's gonna be one of us playing as V, while the other is just like trying to fight something off, and somebody's just like playing the violin in the background. It'd be great.
I want that Devil May Cry spoilers, but I don't give you context, where it's the clip from Amazing Spider-Man where Stan Lee is the librarian.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. Good job. Okay.
Great. Let's talk about our boy, though.
Let's talk about our boy. Let's talk about our goodest idiot boy. The character with who I am terrible with, but who I identify the most with. Because boy, Dante's just a big old dum-dum, and he's great in this game. Does one man need that many swords? We'll find out.
I think playing as Dante is... And this is kind of the thing, another problem I had with... Like, I have one big problem with Dante, and I had the problem in 4 as well, which is because you only start playing as Dante, like, halfway through the game...
Right.
You don't get the thing you get in Devil May Cry 3, which is... You get all of Dante's weapons in 3 fairly early. Like, you get his gauntlets, like, what, mission... After 10...
12. You get it after you beat Virgil 2.
Yeah, it's Virgil 2, so that's like mission
like 12 or 13. I think
so you've got 8 missions still to mess around with, like, all of his equipment, right?
Right.
In 4 and 5, like, especially 5, you're still getting stuff at, like...
Mission like 17, right?
Yeah, like 17, 18.
17 is King Cerberus, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, and it's like you don't get the time to mess around with all of his gear that you got in like the earlier games.
But that's the thing, is that DMC5 is like maybe the most blatantly of all a game built around the second playthrough, which again, we probably should have waited to do a second playthrough before we talked about it, but I'm too excited, so no.
Right.
But this game is like heavily built around the New Game Plus.
Yes. But like the first time you first time you go through it,
you'll get it.
You know, it's still just like, you know, I didn't use King Cerberus at all. Like,
yeah. Oh no! As soon as I got it, I loved it. Oh man.
I got this too late. I'm already really used to Balrog and the sword.
Yeah.
And the Cavalier, and I'm like, I don't want to try a new weapon right now. I'm good with what I have. I've spent all my orbs on these ones.
Right.
So you know, when I go through next time, I'll use it more often. But it's like, you know, that, and like same with stuff like, you know, getting Kalina Ann really late. It's like, I don't really.
Yeah, I didn't use Kalina Ann a lot once I got it. I tooled around with it a little bit, like in the Void, but it's just, you know, I'm pretty meat and potatoes with Dante. It's shotgun, dual pistols, ebony and ivory, a sword, and then like I took all of the melee weapons with me, but I usually only used like the sword and Cavalier. I really like Cavalier. But as soon as I got King Cerberus, I actually started using that more over Cavalier, because Revolver is a really good move, and the lightning lightning revolver is even better. It's really cool, and it also gave me an excuse to use Swordmaster more.
Yeah.
I actually started learning, so I'm very proud of myself. I told myself, because like I do get kind of easily overwhelmed by all of the options available with Dante. I told myself, instead of trying to use all, and this is probably like taboo among some higher tier players, but whatever. I'm not a high tier player. I'm just a mod. I'm very sad and easily overwhelmed by like options. Okay. So what I did instead was I just told myself I'm only going to use 2 styles. And then my next playthrough, or when I have some time to mess around in the Void some more, I'll learn how to better incorporate Gunslinger and Royal Guard. And I would like to learn Royal Guard because I watched a lot of people do some really cool Royal Guard stuff. And I think I'm stupid, but I think I could get those timings down.
I will never in my life touch Royal Guard. I've decided that already.
I feel like I could get the Royal Guard timings down. I was watching somebody do the final boss with Dante and Royal Guard, and I was like, I think I could do that.
I've never in my life been good at parrying.
Ever. Rip.
Ever.
It's hard. But once you get the timing, you just have the timing. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you know it forever. Like, it never goes away. You just know what to look for. It comes out as second nature. So I feel like I could do that in Devil May Cry, but that's for later. So I just focused on Trickster and Swordmaster. And honestly, that actually, once I decided to do that, it really improved my experience with Dante. Once I just decided that I was going to play it kind of like a version of 3 where you could have 2 styles instead of just one. Once I did that and I started taking like less weapons with me and just kind of was like, well, you know, that's for later. That's for when I have a better grasp of the mechanics. I started having a way better time. I was way less just like feeling like I was wasting all of this potential. You know, when I let it go, like when I let go of the fact that I had all of this at my disposal and I just wanted to use what I was comfortable with using, I started having a lot more fun. Like, yeah, toward the end of it, I was having a good time with Dante. I'm still terrible with him, though.
Just, like, yeah, that's what I really like about him in 5, is that you can drop gear.
Oh, yeah, that's the best part, 100%. Like, when they announced that, I'm like, oh, thank God, I can actually do this now. Yeah. You don't have to cycle through, like, the way you do in 4. You cycle past Lucifer, because I can't fucking use Lucifer.
I'm not using that one, no way. But I liked Balrog a lot.
Balrog is really good.
The heat up mechanic where you do that rapid fire punch and then it explodes.
Yeah, it's really good. I like kick mode a lot more than punch mode.
Kick mode's really kick mode. Swordmaster level 1, where he does that like spin. Oh,
yeah. Oh, it's so good. Holy shit. Yeah. Punch mode is really good, but I like the flow of kick mode a lot more. So
I want to get good at like swapping on the fly and stuff. And
yeah.
The only thing
toward the end, I got better at that.
The only thing I don't like is I don't like the way it looks.
I don't like the shoulder pads.
I don't like them. I'm like, also I keep looking at it. I'm like, I like the 1 and 4 more.
Gilgamesh is the sexiest piece of ever. It is the sexiest piece of equipment in the universe. Yeah. It
is the best Greave Gauntlet combo look ever.
I would pay actual money for like a skin for Balrog that was just I would pay money for a skin for Balrog that was just Gilgamesh.
The face mask he gets too is
so cool. It's so cool. It just looks so cool, and like kick mode Balrog looks really cool, I think. But I don't like the shoulder pads on. Yeah.
They look really bad.
They look really bad. I'm sorry. They just look really bad and dumb, and they don't fit the aesthetic of like the rest of his outfit at all. And yes, it is fashion may cry. Leave me the hell alone. I know what I'm about.
I mean,
it's about being cool.
The cool thing about the Greave weapons in Devil May Cry is that they stay on your character, and that's like the cool thing about them, At
least there's mode.
One of the reasons that you equip it in 3 is because it just stays on your character the whole time, no matter what.
Yeah, and they glow, and they look really neat. It's awesome. They got, the feet part of did I really just forget what the Greaves are called? Beowulf. Jesus.
It is Beowulf. I was thinking like I was thinking something more biblical, but it's Beowulf. Yeah.
It's Beowulf. The feet, like the claw part of Beowulf, just looks cool. It glows. Yeah. It's all shiny. Like, it's fashion may cry. Leave me alone. I don't like Balrog's fucking shoulder pads. It's not 1985. Go away. Go away. Give me back Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh looks so damn sexy. So yeah.
I got proud of myself. I did get good at switching between Trickster and Swordmaster on the fly. Like in 4, I was just kind of like, oh, I'd better switch now.
When it's like way too late.
Yeah, but in 5, I got like a little better at like doing it like mid combo and stuff, and like, oh, better be on Swordmaster right now so I can actually attack with this button.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and the neat thing is that Devil May Cry really is just a learned skill. It's a thing you can get better at through repetition. Now, mind you might do a lot of repetition if you're dumb, but you still get better at it through repetition, which is neat. Your skills get better. And yeah, you can, go through, and if you beat it on... The cool thing about Devil May Cry, I think I've always liked about Devil May Cry, all the way back to 3, is that this idea of looking at the game and going, well, I beat it on normal mode. And the end of normal is at least as hard, if not harder, than the beginning of hard. So, if I can handle that, I can handle the beginning of hard, and then once you're in the beginning of hard mode, you're like, I might as well just carry this through to the end, and then suddenly you're playing at a way higher tier, and you go back to playing it on Devil Hunter or normal mode, and you're like, oh, wow, I got really good at this game, That's the thing I've always liked about Devil May Cry, is like the slow ramping up of challenge that kind of... it's like a frog in boiling water, but a good thing instead.
Yeah, but it's like a frog in a jacuzzi instead of boiling water.
Yeah, exactly. It's heating up, but you're getting used to the heat slowly, and you're adapting, and then eventually you're like, oh, I'm way better now at the end than when I started, and it feels really cool. I've always liked that about Devil May Cry. I feel like it does it better than pretty much any other game series, like the slow escalation of challenge. There's never a point in Devil May Cry where it spikes to be absurd.
Yeah, there's never like any sort of unfair part or like bullshit part of the game.
Right, yeah. And never any part where it's not even bullshit. It's just that the level of difficulty takes like a dramatic spike. Mm-hmm. That never really happens in 5. There's definitely a shift, like at around mission 7, there's a shift to being like, oh, this is getting harder, but it's a harder that I can handle. Mm-hmm. And I like that. I like when games kind of teach me as they go, and DMC does it really well, and they do it really well when you're playing with, like, Dante. It's even a character as complex as Dante is still, like, 5 has all these mechanics in place, like you said, you don't have to take every weapon. If you feel you can't handle all that choice, or you only want to use, like, 2 or 3, you can only use 2 or 3. It's fine.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. It's very cool.
It's very user friendly that way, you know.
Yeah.
It's not easier that way, but it's accommodating to however you want to play, you know.
Mm-hmm. Matthew Matosis has an excellent video about DMC 1. It's like a 2.5 hour. I've talked about this on this podcast before. It's like a 2.5 hour long commentary track about Devil May Cry 1, where he plays it basically perfectly, and it's really, really fascinating because it's all scripted, like he's reading over video of him playing the game. And so it's all scripted, so it's very well paced out. And he mentions at one point that, like, Devil May Cry doesn't have any choice in its plot, but that doesn't matter because the choice is how the player chooses to express themselves in the action of playing Devil May Cry. You know, you'll always go from point A to point B in the same way, but how you get there is completely different depending on the player, because DMC has so much player choice. There's no one weapon that is better than another. If you really want to sit down and learn how to master, like, fucking Cavalier and the King Cerberus, you could go through the whole game with just those 2 weapons and do extremely well, you know, if you really took the time to learn. And I like that. I think that's it's spawned off of the style system. This idea of style is an expression of how well you can play the game. So we need to give the player as many options to express themselves as possible. And I just think that's like the ethos of Devil May Cry, kind of boils down to its bare substance. And it's why Nero is really good in 5, going back to Nero for just a second, because it gives you more options of self-expression that you didn't have in 4.
Yes, because you have so many more options for the breakers and for how you utilize them.
Exactly.
Do you want to, like, keep one as long as possible and just, like, use it conservatively? Or are you going to be like, all right, I take these 5, I'm going to smash them all, and I'm going to find ones in the field, and, you know, whatever I get is whatever I get.
Yeah. Or do you want to go and do, like, a no-breaker run? Do you want to do an armless run? You can play all of DMC5 on an armless run. It's totally doable. And that's amazing. You can play it. You can just take 8 Gerbera into the field, and if you want to play Nero like a trickster, you know, like as if you were playing through the whole game with trickster style on, you can do that. You didn't have those options before in 4. Like, now you have so much more at your disposal for all of these characters to really kind of come into your own and play the game exactly the way you want to play it. And yeah, that's the brilliant. I mean, like, that's what makes DMC5 brilliant, honestly, is that's what makes it, like, the best action game. Maybe the best action game ever made.
So fucking good. It's so... And I don't want to get too picky about stuff, but, like, man, reviewers don't know what makes Devil May Cry good.
They don't. I mean, God bless them. They all try. I loved Heather Alexandra has a hilarious review of DMC5 that you should read. It's on Kotaku. I'm not one of those people who will shit talk Kotaku anymore. They've got some good writers on staff. Heather Alexandra wrote a really good review. She's playing, you can watch her stream it, and it's fascinating to watch her learn how to get better at Royal Guard. She's kind of the person who's made me interested in trying Royal Guard in 5, because I watched her fight the final boss and just learn to get better with Royal Guard. I'm like, that is actually the window for Royal Guard in 5 is way more forgiving, just like with Max Act. That's the other thing that I love, is that they've kind of loosened some of those restrictions that made it hard for people who can't react that fast. Like, I'm 30 years old. Let's be realistic for a second here. Mm-hmm. My reaction times are not as good as they used to be. And so, like, yeah, watching her play, like, the final boss and do extremely well using Royal Guard and just a few other tools at her disposal is really inspiring. But, yeah, a lot of reviewers just didn't... I mean, like, they reviewed it well and, like, yeah, that's cool. Good for you. But some of them still don't quite get the brilliance.
Because they're like, oh, it needs a dedicated dodge button.
No, it doesn't. The dodge button is called the jump button, bitches.
You know how you dodge in Devil May Cry? You get out of the way. Just get out of the way. Just walk away.
Move.
How is dodging real, man? Just close your eyes. Just walk away.
That's good. Yeah, man. Like, and the roll is a great dodge. It has an absurd number of iframes on it. You have so many options. There's enemy step, there's your air hike, there's your regular jump, there's the roll. If you're playing as Dante, you've got Trickster. If you're playing as Nero and you're really like bad and need to dodge a lot, you've got Gerbera, like I said.
And if you're playing as V, you don't need to dodge because you're on the other side of the map.
If you have to dodge, you've done something wrong as V. That's how it works. So you need to get away if you're as V. Move.
What's my dodge button as V? Your dodge button is to walk to the corner and let your pets do the work for you.
And then you just teleport over and shank a dude. And
because V's teleport is infinite. You will be there.
You'll get there eventually, I promise.
And then leave when you're done.
And then move. And then, like, the cool thing is that, like, V's his dodge, his roll isn't really a roll. It's actually like way faster, and I think has more iframes than Dante and Nero when he like swoops to the side using Shadow.
Yeah.
And when he back jumps using Griffin, like it's very it's so cool.
Oh my god, his back jump is like the best thing in the world.
Good. It's so good.
It's like, oh, you're attacking me? No, you're not.
I'm halfway across the map now. Goodbye.
You can try to mail me your sword if you want.
Yeah, it's great. It rules. It's just you have like I said, so many options available to you to not get hit. And it's all just a matter of what you do with those options. At the end of the day, the answer is, as always, get good.
Yeah.
Get good.
I do want to say one more thing about Dante before we go into, like...
Go for it.
More stuff, which is that I don't know how other people feel about this. I know how I feel about it. Mm-hmm. When there's a thing that happens in the plot, and Dante
There's a lot that happens in this plot, God.
But there's a specific thing that happens, and Dante suddenly has an air combo.
Yes.
I really like that. That's a good thing to do because I got used to Nero's air combo.
Yeah.
And then I didn't have that as Dante, but then I got it back.
And boy, oh boy, is that new sword. Boy. Holy shit. That new sword, though, is so good.
There's some cool shit that happens in this video game.
You can do
about
some
a cool guy.
There's a lot of really cool swords in this video game, and that alone should be why you should be playing Devil May Cry 5. If you like have a soul and understand that things can be cool, you need to play Devil May Cry 5 just to look at all the cool ass swords. Okay, there are so many.
If you're like us and you're like, man, Rebellion's really cool, but Alistair's cooler.
Yes.
Then you're going to really like what they do in Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah, surprise! The game about being cool is the coolest video game ever made. Yay! Okay, can we get into spoilers now?
Let's talk about our bingo card, though.
Let's talk about our bingo card real fast.
We're in spoiler mode now, so like
you just listened to an hour of The Gorge, baby.
You listened to a podcast episode already. We did an episode for you. This is the second part.
If you haven't played Devil May Cry 5 yet, what the fuck? Go play it. It's so good.
We've done what? This is like our 5th Devil May Cry episode.
How the hell are we talking about this video game series so much? We have talked about Devil May Cry at least as much as Persona, which has significantly more plot content.
You can beat all 5 Devil May Cries before you can beat Persona 5.
It's true. And yet somehow we're still here because these games is good, y'all. So we're getting into spoiler territory. Yes. Be gone if you haven't played the game or you haven't finished it yet. So
back when we first talked about Devil May Cry,
boy, that bingo card.
We made a bingo card, and we're like, these are our predictions. It's a really fun episode. I really liked doing that level of speculation.
Yes, we should try to do it more often. But
we should for more crazy stuff.
Nothing has quite captivated my life the way DMC has lately. So.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But, I have it pulled up here.
Yay!
And we're just gonna go down the list and
obviously go off on tangents as we talk about the list because, boy.
And see what we got, what we didn't get.
So Ben, where are we starting?
So our first one is probably the best one.
I'm so glad
First one, B1 here is Dante gets impaled by his own sword. Boy! Not only did we get this one right,
they turned it into a mechanic.
They turned it into a mechanic in the game.
Dante literally says at that point, he's like, I've been stabbed so many times. He basically says, I've been stabbed so many times, I might as well just fucking stab myself and see what happens. Which is incredible.
I would have loved in that scene if they had shown like quick flashbacks to every time it happened.
It happens so much. I cannot believe I was expecting, the usual. Somebody lobs a sword at Dante and he takes it through the midsection and it's just like, oh man.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to have it happen. Depending on how you play this game, it will happen like 20 or 30 times in a playthrough because I like it stupid. They want me to call it Sin Devil Trigger. I'm not going to call it Sin Devil Trigger. It's Majin Trigger. Leave me alone. To unlock your fucking Sin Devil Majin Trigger whatever thing, you have to stab yourself. It's amazing.
Okay, but also, I'm gonna come out and say it. DSD is the best sword Dante's ever had.
Oh, God. Okay, my only complaint, this is so petty, but leave me alone. I hate the handguard. I think it's ugly.
Oh, I love it, though.
I think it's really ugly.
I think it looks so cool.
But that's it. Man. Everything else, I love it. It's so good.
The handle with the gem on the bottom and the blade having like the sharp edge, but like it's got this like craggy, rocky texture to it.
It's like a scar. I always think it looks like scar tissue.
Oh my God.
And it's so good. And just all the shit attached to it, boy.
How good is that name though?
Devil Sword Dante, you Kingo bastard!
Like the revelation that you have to earn the right to name your sword after yourself is like, oh, that's so cool.
Amazing. Because it's like Dante makes a new sword in the process of doing that. Like, he destroys Rebellion. He destroys Sparta, which is just, boy, we could probably talk about that on its own, the implications of that for like another episode, probably. But Dante basically like destroys Sparta and turns it into his something that is entirely his own, completely unique, and gives him the right to call it to give it a sword bearing his own name. It's incredible.
It's so cool.
It's so cool. That whole cutscene is so cool because the first time it happened, I was losing my mind when he just jams rebellion into his gut. Yeah, and again, boy, it's pretty cool of, like, all the shit that's going on in, like, that character's brain when he still decides to just lug around the broken hilt of his sword.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
pretty
such
good.
That's such a cool guy thing to do, though. Like, honestly, like, carrying the broken blade. I don't know if you remember, like, really, really early on in Bleach, when Ichigo's first sword gets broken.
Yeah.
And for a while, he just, because it's such a big sword anyway, he can just use the broken half anyway.
Rokuro in Berseria, his big thing is that he's lugging a broken sword on his back, and he uses that broken sword to stab his idiot brother. Hey, look at that. Stab his idiot brother. And it's like, that's awesome. You know
who else?
It is a cool guy thing to do.
You know who else uses a giant broken sword?
What?
Carol Capel.
We can't keep making episodes about Tails games. We're talking about...
No, we can't. It's fine.
Devil May Cry right now. It's fine.
But it's so cool. Like, boy, we fucking nailed that one.
I really didn't... I expected to get that one. I didn't expect to get it that hard and in that way. To be like, oh, you have to transform into your cool Majin trigger now. Run yourself through with your sword, buddy. Amazing. Amazing.
So good.
Next.
This other one we fucking crushed in a weird way.
Is it? Are we going horizontal?
I'm going horizontal. Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to the I.
Yeah. To I1. V is a human. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Question mark? Boy, that is a weird one.
they made, like, the distinction that Virgil splits himself into demon and human.
Hey, Ben, you literally just said a line from Crimson Cloud.
Oh my god.
Yeah, what's up, buddy? The whole plot was right there in the song. Yeah. He literally says, split myself into devils all around. I think that's the line.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was right there the whole time. It was just right there. Right there out in the open.
Like, a lot of these are about V, and it's like, boy, no one would have guessed what V ended up being, you know?
A lot. Well, no, that's not true, because Wooly is doing his, but of course, Wooly is like on my level. Wooly is the only man I respect, because Wooly is the only person who loves Virgil as much as I love Virgil. And so Wooly is playing it blind, like in his LP. Like, he doesn't know what's happening. Pat knows what's going on. And he's like, he's like, I think V is Virgil, man. And, cause he's got, like, he, like, lays it on. He's like, this is why. And he's right. Like, boy, when you really start to think about it, it's all there in the open. V's got an attack called Royal Fork, where, I think it's called Royal Fork, where he basically does summon swords, but they're with his canes instead. V, when he teleports over to enemies, it looks and acts exactly like Virgil's up trick and down trick. He has a line about how he needs more strength, not needs more power. All of these little things. And then, the biggest giveaway, the moment I started going, like, oh my god, this guy is Virgil. When you are going to get the Devil Sword Sparta, there's a line as you're walking through the crypts, and Griffin says something like, thinking about mommy dearest, aren't you? And V says, yes, the past can be a bit, he says something like, the past is a burden for me, or something like that. But, like, I was like, hold on a second.
Wait
Hold
a
on.
minute.
I mean, I know everybody in Devil May Cry. The thing is that everybody in Devil May Cry has dead mom issues. So if V had just been a guy with, like, a dead mom, I would have been like, yeah, that tracks. But with, like, all this other stuff, that was the moment I started going, like, hold on. But I didn't know how it would work. Like, I didn't think Urizen was Virgil. I thought V was lying. I thought V was lying about that. I thought... Like, when he tells Dante, like, hey, the person you're looking for is Virgil. He has that big, he says the name silently, and you go like, oh, fuck, it's Virgil. But you think he's lying. I thought he was, I just thought he was
because Dante has that line later where he's like, guess I get to see with my own eyes if it's really you.
If it really is you. Yeah, and it's like, maybe it isn't. But no, It's actually a lot more
Ended up-
complicated. Virgil
yeah.
is everybody in this game. I'm Virgil, you're Virgil, he's Virgil, or any other Virgils I should know about.
It's like you told me and then I told you later, where it's like...
It's Kingdom Hearts.
I can't believe V is Virgil's nobody,
It's just
and
Kingdom
Urizen
Hearts.
is his Heartless.
Yep. We're still just in Kingdom Hearts, y'all. It never goes away.
Devil May Cry is Kingdom Hearts that can drink.
It's Kingdom Hearts that's allowed to say fuck.
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's it.
I mean, did you notice that Dante can summon DSD like a Keyblade now?
Yeah, he just kind of lets it pop into his hand. No big deal. That's pretty dope, too. It looks really cool when he does it.
It does look really cool.
It's amazing. But yeah, no, I mean, it's weird. Because, like, technically... V is just a regular guy, but that isn't what I meant when I made that I suggested that.
When we made V as a human, we thought V is an ordinary human, like, lady.
He's just a guy
person
who can just do magic and he's cool, you know? I didn't expect the twist we got.
And the thing about the twist is that, like, I knew something was up with V. Like, obviously something was up with V, but, like, I knew something was, like, really up with V when he kept calling Nero, like, the child Nero.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was like,
you're
hey,
not that much older than him.
How old are you, and how old do you think Nero is?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I wanted a scene where Nico asks, like, hey, how old do you think Nero is? Because we would be like, 15?
Yeah, because, like, the twins are, like, 40 to 45.
Right.
And when you hit that, I mean, like, I'm 30, and when I look at people who are 20, I'm like, you're an infant.
Yeah, child.
You're the child. Nero is anywhere from, depending on what you go off of, Nero is anywhere from 22 to 24 in DMC5. And I, as a 30-year-old, look at him and go, that's a baby still.
Yeah.
22 is still a baby.
And I was like, so I was thinking, like, is this kind of like the weird, like, thing I had with Star Wars where it's like you find out that, like, Poe is like 10 years older than Rey and Finn, and you're like, what?
What? Yeah, I really thought that V was, I mean, he looks it. He looks like, he looks Nero's age.
Yeah, but he also, like, he could be like 30.
Yeah, But so it's all like up in the air. You're like, who are you? And I mean, like, that's the thing is that it's like, Nero is always like, who the hell are you? And we would all like to know that as well. And then we get our answer, and it's like, oh, fuck.
It's the coolest thing in the world.
A lot of people call it dumb. Those people are wrong. It's the coolest thing in the world. It is the best thing that's ever happened to, like, a Virgil fan. Possibly ever. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Next
one is our first, like, serious miss.
Swing and a miss.
Which is Mundus Returns. He does not. He is still dead.
He's still super sealed away in the underworld. Yeah. Trish mentions him by name, though, and I didn't expect that. She actually does name drop Mundus at one point. I was like, yeah, nice.
That's cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
A lot of references in this game.
Next one is one that's kind of funny.
Oh, no.
We finally passed the DMC2 hurdle. Well, technically, we already did that with 4, I guess.
Let's change the rules.
So when I saw that tweet, I thought it was a joke.
Oh, really?
I was, because it's a single tweet where it's like, yeah, we retconned it so that it goes 3124 now. And I'm like, haha, yeah, I get it. That's funny. No one likes 2. Haha, you can just switch it around. People are like, wow, I can't believe Matt retconned 2 to be before 4. And I'm like, what?
Wait, that was real? Yeah, no, it was real.
That?
It's in an actual lore video that just straight up says, hey, 2 comes before 4 now.
And I'm like, you have an art book that's called 3142.
It has been 3142 basically since 4 came out.
Like, the whole point of 4, was the whole thing about 4 was that it was a prequel to 2 because we could never get past 2 because 2 was that bad.
It's just, but no, turns out you can literally just kind of like throw 2 anywhere in the timeline and it won't change anything. And
like, you've seen,
and it makes technically more sense.
Like, Because there's that thing where, like, if you watch the recap video that comes in the game, they spend more time discussing the anime than they do on 2.
They talk more about there's literally a single line about 2, and that's it. And they talk about the anime more than that, which is a lot. But I mean, like, yeah, you think about it, and it does make sense. You go from, like, Wacky Wahoo Pizza Man to... like kind of quiet weirdo pizza man to extremely depressed Wahoo Pizza Man, and then you just get depressed Dante, and then 4 happens and he's like, oh shit, I've got family, oh shit, maybe life isn't so horrible. He's on his Lexapro is what I always say. Maybe I can have fun.
And then he shoots a priest in the face,
and then he shoots the Pope, and it's like, oh Dante, that's not
that kind of fun,
not
Dante.
that kind of fun, buddy. Yeah. Oh, well. Next.
Next one is another swing and a miss.
Oh, no.
Virgil's still a puppet? Nope.
Oh, shit. Absolutely the hell not.
No,
boy.
He's just an asshole.
My boy is just really mad. He refuses to take that L. That's all it is. He will. Dante is like, here, hold this, and Virgil slaps the L out of his hand so hard it cuts off Nero's arm.
And it's like, no, man, you gotta hold it. You hold it because you did lose. Everyone saw you lose.
We all saw it happen. You lost. I'm sorry, buddy. You gotta hold this.
You lost to Dante, you lost to Mundus, and then you lost to Dante again.
Yeah.
Alright. I also love that they never explain how Virgil went from being Virgil to Nilo Angelo and then not be Virgil again.
Yeah, and how about them changing the pronunciation of Nello Angelo on us? We're both still reeling from it.
I'm still gonna say Nello Angelo, just like how I still sometimes say Tifa.
Yeah, even though it's not right.
That's not right. I know it's not right, but it's the way my mouth has formed that word forever.
I have said Nello Angelo for 20 years. I'm not going to start saying Nilo Angelo now. Sorry. I know it's technically correct, but it's not going to happen.
It's like trying to get someone... It's like trying to get me to say Ten Shinhan instead of Tien.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
It's been my whole life at this point, guys. No.
Like, his name is Krillin. It's not Kuririn.
No.
You're never going to get me to change. I'm sorry.
And the thing is that I don't need to know how he ended up going from Virgil to Nello Angelo. What I need to know is how the fuck did he survive exploding? I mean, my man's literally blew up. Like, we all saw it happen.
Like, it wasn't like in 3 where he falls into hell and he's like, all right, bye, Dante. Like, he died in Devil May Cry 1. Dante had a flashback about it.
That's how you know it's real.
Yeah, I mean, he died. He actually for real died.
For real, he blew up. And somehow... But you know what? Don't worry about it. It's fine.
And then apparently he just left and then wandered around for a bit for like a long, long time.
Here's the thing. At this point, the gap between DMC1 and DMC5 is 15 years. So what the hell was Virgil doing for 13 to 15 years? Like, was he just kind of stuck in hell? How did he get out? He said he's running out of time. Was he just, like, sick and dying in the underworld for, like, a really long time?
Why is he running out of time now and not 15 years ago when he exploded?
Blew up?
We will never get answers to these questions.
You're never going to get that one answered, my mans.
But it's still just like, so was Virgil around, but like didn't think to check up on his brother at all until now?
I don't know. Maybe he went into he just passed out for a little while. Maybe exploding just means he fell asleep for a little while. Yeah. And then he woke up with a really bad hangover. Maybe
he had to swim from Malay Island.
It did blow up.
And it takes a while to swim across the ocean when you don't have a magic biplane that you just find.
Yeah, that just kind of works despite falling through a floor. We're not going to get into that. Although, I mean, like, the thing is that I say we'll never get that answer, but I also never thought the anime would be canon either.
So who knows what's going to happen?
I don't know.
On that note, though, like, thinking about the breadth, the gulf of script quality from 1 to 5 is the fucking funniest thing in the world.
It will make your head spin.
When you go from...
Don't say it!
The sky is fair, and it'll always be above us, no different. To some of the dialogue that
you horrible piece of shit! I'm ashamed to know you.
The ending to Devil May Cry 1 is a masterpiece, and I will hear nothing less spoken of it. The conversation between Trish and Dante in the biplane is poetry.
People make fun. God, we really are going off on a tangent. It's gonna be a long episode, Ben. People make fun of. I should have been the one to fill your dark soul with light, but like. Really? That's not the worst of it.
That's not the worst line by a mile.
The ending cutscene.
Hearing Trish call herself calling herself Dante's sidekick is like is the funniest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So bad. Like, I guess because, like, I've become immune to Dark Soul with light, I just listen to it. I'm like, that's funny. You know? Like, poor Dante. He's just a very emotional man. And then you get to the end. I have to walk away. Like, the secondhand embarrassment I get from the ending of DMC1 is so intense that I could cringe myself inside out. You know what I mean?
And
like you said, the leap in script quality. We go from, like, that shit to the scene we were talking about a little while ago and we're going to talk about now, which is when, like, Dante just, like, lets the whole Virgil is your dad thing out.
Yeah!
And that scene is, like, really incredible. One, super well done, really well acted, and, like, really intense and, like, way more emotional than I ever signed up for in a Devil May Cry game.
That whole... Because the whole thing is Nero not wanting to feel like dead weight, you know, trying to... to prove himself to Dante, and then like Dante trying to protect him. Not just protect him from the danger, but also like, hey man, you don't know what's going on here, and Dante doesn't want to say it out loud, you know?
Yeah, because that would kind of fundamentally change everything, because it's like, I am about to set out to kill your dad. You, who grew up thinking you have no family whatsoever, I have to now go and kill your dad. So I cannot, under any circumstances, tell you that he is your dad. Like, you can't.
And you get the scene later where Lady tells Nero, like, you'll never recover from killing your father. You never recover
from it. Yeah, oh god, that's a really good, just like, it's just a simple line, and you're just like, no matter how much...
But like coming from her, like it's so powerful.
Drives it it drives it home really hard that it's like that is a thing you carry with you for the rest of your life, no matter how much you hate him. That is a thing that will be on your shoulders for the rest of your life. So you really have to like understand that Dante is trying to help you, even if he's going. And that's the cool thing. Dante is like in the wrong, man. Like. He's wrong to not tell Nero. He's wrong to be, like, really gung-ho. I mean, like, Virgil is an asshole, but Dante is maybe a little too gung-ho about killing Virgil by the end of the game. And, like, that's the thing. They're both wrong. And there's, like, another option, but neither of them are willing to, at this point, the sibling rivalry is all they've known. They are 40 to 45 years old, and they have hated each other's guts since they were 8. Okay? So, like, they can't even consider another option at that point. There is no other option than kill Dante or kill Virgil. And, like, that's kind of like, it's like, yeah, no. Like, we joke, but no, Virgil can never hold the L until somebody intervenes, because it's, like, the only thing they kind of have.
Yeah, they don't have any other relationship besides the rivalry.
And, like, the rivalry is, like, kind of what keeps them going. And it's, like, yeah, you think about it. It is why Dante was listless after 1. He, like, that was it. If you kill Nello Angelo and you know, at least you think you know, that Virgil is dead, So now you have, like, the only connecting thing you ever had with your family, even if you can't stand that family. I don't think they hate each other. You kill that, and it's like, well, what do I do with myself now?
Well, you know, even Nico has that line in the end where she's like, yeah, I don't have any feelings about my dad, but he's the reason I exist, so I guess there's that.
She says it's a biological fact.
Yeah, like, there's that at least. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, you know, your family is like, this game is about family. This whole series is about family.
It is. It's kind of started, you know, as one thing, and then slowly over time has become, I guess ever since Itsuno took over the reins, a story basically about, like, coming to terms with your complicated feelings about your family. Hey, how about the fact that they drop a reference to Kratos?
Yeah.
And it was, like, weirdly punchy. Like, when Nero is walking up the stairs to go, like, try to, and he has no idea what he's doing. He's going up the stairs. He's going to try and, like, do something about this Dante and Virgil thing, even though he has no idea what that thing is going to be yet. And he says the line, he says something like, I have always hated myself for letting Kratos die.
Yeah, like, out of nowhere.
And it's like, because he mentions when he's on the phone, by the way, the phone call with Kyrie is really good too.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, it's like the fucking best scene ever.
It's the best, it's one of the best scenes in the game. He has that phone call with Kyrie and he mentions, like, yeah, you and Kratos were my only family. And then later he's like, he was too weak to let somebody who he considered family, like, die. You know, he couldn't do anything about it. He was totally helpless, and he hated himself for it ever since. And so even though he doesn't know Virgil at all, Virgil is a stranger to him, who cut off his fucking arm, by the way. And Dante probably could have done a better job being like, hey, we're related, buddy. Know, you've been an orphan your whole life and would probably love to know that you, like, have some kind of relationship with another person, but I'm not going to tell you that. Way to go, Dante. Even then, he's still like, no, like, this is all I've got, man. This is all I've got. I've got Kyrie, I've got Dante, and I've got my asshole dad, and it has to end here. It's like,
right.
that is incredible. That is a lot of emotion for a game where you can surf on your robot arm.
Right? There's some whiplash going on in these last few missions.
The last few, and man, I really, really, I love that phone call. That is one of the sweetest, especially because, like, as a concept, as like a fantastical concept, it is the payphone at the end of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's so cool. It is literally a payphone just hanging out. It's the end of the world. You are several 100,000 feet in the air, and there's still a payphone that will let you call your girlfriend and be like, what do I do?
Yeah, hey, I need to talk to you about something.
And that's so sweet. It's like my first instinct, I'm going to call Kyrie and be like, I need to talk. How good is that?
I think one of the best things this game does is that, and you don't see a lot of this in a lot of, like, Japanese games, especially, like, RPGs and stuff.
Right.
Especially in Capcom games, we'll be honest. Hey, Nero and Kyrie are together.
They're in a relationship.
They are together and in love, and several other characters talk about it.
They talk about the fact that Nero is in just a normal, and it's like the most normal, simple, not dramatic, committed relationship with the girl he's crazy about, and they're perfectly happy together. And it's like, oh man, that's
and
so
you're like,
nice.
It's like, oh, you can do that in a video game?
You can do that in a video game? And it doesn't have to be like a, like, my wife is dead kind of thing?
It doesn't have to be, like, really, really vaguely hinted at, but, like, you can still pretty much see it, even though they don't even hold hands by the end of the game.
Right. And they get it across, and you don't ever, I mean, like, you know, Capcom, where's my girl? But you don't ever see Kyrie, but you still just get the sense that, like, Kyrie is, like, the love of his life. She's the person he turns to be like, what do I do? And she says the right thing because she's got, like, you know, a big heart. And Nero has a big heart. That's the cool thing. Nero has a heart that's as, like I said it earlier, he has a heart that's as big as the world. And he just doesn't know what to do with all of his emotions. And so it comes out as, like blinding, boiling rage. But
well,
it
I mean,
also...
that's one of the lyrics in his theme.
Yeah.
His frustration is getting bigger.
Yeah. He's just always just, like, on edge because he doesn't know what to do with all of these feelings that he's got. And, like, you know, sometimes it comes out in, like, a really good and genuine way where he's like, I am ending this sibling rivalry. Like, somebody needs to step in between the two of you, and it might as well fucking be me. It's great.
Well, that's funny because that's actually the next one on the list. Is Nero does in fact pull his devil trigger in the fucking best way possible.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool.
Nero has the best devil trigger in Devil May Cry ever.
100% down, hands down. It's the coolest looking devil trigger. It has the coolest, like, stuff going on with it. Every single part of Nero's devil trigger rules. I love its design. I love that it is more human than demon. Unlike, like, especially toward the end of 5, the twins are, like, straight up just demons. Like, there is... Like, they both have a Majin trigger at that point, and they both just look like demonic as hell. And they're huge. You can get, like, Dante and Nero, like, in, like, a New Game Plus next to each other, and both of them in their DTs. And, like, Dante is massive compared to Nero's, like, little teeny tiny, like, he's just got human proportions. It's just, like, a people, but with, like, some neat stuff on it.
It's really, really Bishonen.
It's very Bishonen. God
so
bless
cool
them.
Looking.
It's so cool.
He gets those arms. Oh,
they are wings with arms that can be used to slug Dante in the face, which is exactly what he needed. It's perfect.
Oh my god, that scene where he just fucking drops down and catches both of them in the chest. It's like
a lightning bolt from heaven. My boy just drops down and is like, I say fucking no.
When he fucking does that leap towards the camera and his arm breaks off and his regular arm grows back.
Oh, that's so cool. It's so cool.
I love that, like, apparently he can just dismiss his human arm now if he wants to put the robot one back in.
I think it's like a spectral arm is what it is. It's kind of like, it's like an expression of his devil power in a way. Is that, like, it's you know?
It kind of feels like if he could sort of, like, unfurl the bringer, like,
yes.
You know,
like the energy underneath, like, the bringer's plating would look like a kind of ghostly hand.
Yeah, but, like, because it's flesh toned, and it seems pretty, like, solid and real, but I guess he can just dismiss it if he wants.
Yeah, you know, or he can make it turn to, like, the ghost. Because, you know, when he puts it on at the very end, you see, like, a little split second where his arm turns kind of, like, purple and more like energy and less like, you know, like a human arm, obviously. And so it's like, oh, I guess that's just, like, part of his power now. I mean, he already has, like, weird spectral arms in his DT form, you know? He's got his insanely cool wings. I love the thing where he's standing there and talking to Dante and Virgil, but he's wearing he's in his human form, but he's still got the wings like a cape.
Yes, he does the gargoyles thing where the wings form the cape.
It's so very cool. It's very, very cool. Yeah, if you don't like Nero after this game, you are dead inside.
How about in that final fight where the first time you activate it,
he yells screams, out, "Fuck you!
Fuck you!" And he raises his middle finger at Virgil. Oh,
so good.
That's how you do a fuck you, DMC Devil May Cry.
Oh god, it's so true because there's so much build up to that fuck you. Like, that's what you're supposed to do. It's supposed to come out as like a big like fuck you, dad.
It's such a
I won't do what you tell me.
It's also such a great callback to 4.
Yes.
When he's getting pulled into Savior and he has the time to flip Dante off before he gets pulled in.
And it's also a great callback to 4 when he's when you can buster Sanctus and he says, "I'm tired of hearing your shit."
Yes!
Yeah, it's just more of that. Nero's always been this way, y'all. He just has a lot of other things going on in his personality, unlike Dante.
But this is exactly what we're talking about, where the Buster Breaker is like, oh, all right. Well, don't need that anymore.
Yeah, yikes. Guess that's safe. But the Buster Breaker is extremely expensive, so it all works out. That thing costs $35 a pop. And it's like, I don't have that kind of money usually. I'm still trying to buy certain skills, like, in my second playthrough. I'm kind of broke, DMC.
Yeah.
How do you expect me to buy those EX taunts? Leave me alone.
I want to buy those so bad. I need to, like, play this game, like, 8 times in a row to save up for that.
God, you would literally you could never buy anything else to even get close to buying one of them. And you have to buy each of them separately. So you have to get almost 1 billion red orbs in order to get all 3 EX taunts.
God.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, I'll buy the orbs DLC, but it's only 100,000. You're like,
that's like a drop in the bucket. Keep grinding, buddy.
But okay, we gotta move on.
We gotta move on. Shit.
A lot of rows. Well, these next few are ones we didn't get. So Nero uses Yamato. Nope.
Actually, very much not.
Nope. He deliberately does not get it back, ever.
That's actually pretty cool, but we gotta move
on. Triple jackpot did not happen. Dante said jackpot twice.
We got the anti-jackpot.
Yeah.
Where... Shit, we can't dwell on this too much. But I literally think one of my favorite parts in the whole game is, don't you dare say it!
Yes!
It's the best part of the game! I love that whole cutscene. I've watched that cutscene like 6 times because I think it's so funny to actually see, like, Virgil, like, really just tired of Dante, like a normal brother, where they're just talking shit and Dante's being annoying, and he says, don't you dare say it! And then, of course, Dante says jackpot. It's great. It's perfect. It's
great.
So, next.
Next one is transforming weapons / Pandora returns. Yeah, we got that. The motorcycle transforms.
We got the transformer. Yeah, we got 2 transforming weapons. We got the motorcycle and we got King Cerberus. So we super called that one. Technically all of Dante's weapons are transforming weapons.
Yeah, they do all, because he gets different swords. His swords transform, and then he gets the gauntlets and greaves, and then, all of his weapons do. Cool.
Yeah, so we super called that one.
Yeah. We didn't call the Pandora returns, but, that was wishful thinking. Next one we totally did get. We just talked about that one, but Nero versus Virgil definitely happened.
Boy, it's happened so hard.
Nothing has ever happened harder.
I've never been more happy to be right in my entire life. That fight is like the rawest thing, because you are just... One, that song is called Silver Bullet. It rules. You need to go look it up on YouTube. It's like the best remix of Devil Trigger. And this game has like 4 different remixes of Devil Trigger, and they're all really, really good because the soundtrack in this game is on another level. The soundtrack in this game just makes my head spin. It's so good. But that fight though, the bit where you can get, like, where you buster Virgil and he runs you through with the sword and you just hear Nero go, oh hell no! And he just returns the favor in the coolest way. And
it just takes a chunk out of Virgil's health.
You just watch Virgil's HP just melt, and it's the coolest.
So good.
It's so sad. Virgil is my favorite character in Devil May Cry, and I've never been happier to watch him get his shit pushed in. Are you kidding me? It's exactly what we needed. He needed it. Yeah. Amazing.
Next one we didn't get, Sparta fight. Sparta doesn't show up at all, unfortunately. We did get... the sword does. We did get Ava, though. I didn't expect to see Ava, but we did see her.
Yeah. Oh, it was nice, too. I like her redesign a lot. I love her outfit. It's really good.
Yeah.
I have a lot of feelings about those scenes. I will be crying about this game on Twitter for like the next 6 years. Probably. Until we get the next Devil May Cry in 6 years.
Right.
Next.
Next one, the motorcycle is a weapon. Yeah, we saw that one a while ago. We made this when the first trailer came out.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. Cavalier is so
cool.
I liked the way we got Cavalier, though. That was cool. I didn't expect, like, oh, the parts flew off and fused with a motorcycle.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you really can just ride the motorcycle, like in Swordmaster mode. You can just, like, roll up on it from, like, behind and just grind an enemy's face off. It rules,
So good. I don't think we actually got our free space.
Let's rock, baby?
Did Dante say that ever?
It's a free space. We don't actually have to justify it. We got it.
Right.
That's how free spaces work. Don't worry about it.
Dante gets a slow-mo haircut / shave.
We got that one. It's actually in a trailer. He actually gets a shave from an enemy at the very beginning of the game. It's really cool.
V and Nico are siblings. Nope.
That was based off of a leak that ended up being completely fucking wrong. But hey, sometimes you gotta shoot for the moon.
Yeah, you gotta shake the tree to see what falls out.
Yeah. Oh, shut up. Fuck you. How dare you? You thought you could slip that one by me? Mm-mm.
I almost did.
You almost did, but nope, I'm too wily.
V will fight Dante or Nero because of Virgil. Not V. V never fights either of them.
Yeah.
Virgil does, but not V.
Alright, we can't...
No, we can't count that one. It's too specific
to... It's too specific. But I mean, it's like... Boy, we were real close.
We almost got it. Virgil was involved.
Close. Virgil was involved in a big way. But boy, nope. Next.
V is a tattoo assassin.
No, got that one wrong. V doesn't actually get any new things, which is interesting.
Yeah, he doesn't, his tattoos don't actually apply to anything. They're just designed for him.
Well, they come off
when he DTs.
There is, I think that it's like some interview they explained it, but it's like, so V mentions that he still has like a very small fragment of demonic power, and it's what lets him control the familiars. And that fragment of demonic power, I think, is supposed to represent Virgil's corruption, because when Virgil comes back, he's not corrupted, right? Mm-hmm. And
then
V is very sickly.
Yeah, and V starts falling apart like Virgil's corruption.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that his tattoos are like representative of that corruption. So they do give him some kind of power, but they are not, like, he doesn't get new tattoos.
The tattoos are not like, the tattoos don't like, they're his power. Like, the tattoos themselves are not anything.
Yeah. Whoops. Oh well.
Old Man Dante. We almost didn't get this one.
Oh god, I was really sweating, like, at the end of this game. I'm like, are we really not gonna have... I am really disappointed that we don't have a single joke about Dante being like, oh, my back! Come on, the opportunity is right there.
Yeah, we wanted that. We wanted Dante being like, I can't do this anymore.
I'm too old for this shit,
But instead we did get a line where in combat, if Dante and Nero are around, Nero will say, oh, you need some help with that, Dante? And Dante says, I'm not that old yet.
And then there's the line, too, where Dante is like, hey, Nero is your kid. And Virgil's like, what the fuck? And Dante says, I guess you were young once, too. Kind of like,
oh, yeah, that's right. He does get that.
You were young once, too, which is just incredible. The implications there, that Virgil was once young and willing to just kind of bone anybody who walked, which is just...
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing. Next.
Manga / anime callback. Yes, we did get that.
Boy, and did we ever. We got way more than I anticipated.
We knew Morrison was showing up, so we like, anything besides Morrison was this one. But boy, howdy, did we get Patty.
We got Patty. We got a voice for Patty. I did not expect that at all. You could almost also make you could almost say the manga makes a reference to, because so, like, you haven't read the manga, but in the manga it's kind of implied that Dante was in the house when the house, when they were attacked and the house was destroyed. Dante was in the house and hiding somewhere, and Virgil was outside. He wasn't in the house. He was off doing his own thing. in maybe a graveyard, is what it's kind of implied to have been. Or he was just out playing. And V says at the beginning of mission 8, the end of mission 7, V mentions, he's like, this town was attacked once, and I was playing right about there, and that was my house. And yeah, so it's kind of canonizing like an old theory, and it's like a really small theory, but it's kind of one of those like, well, how did the twins even end up separated in the first place? Well, what happened was that Virgil was outside and got attacked first, probably.
Yeah.
You know? And that kind of ties back to all of that. Like, boy, there's a lot of emotional baggage in this game that's about writing on your fucking, like, rocket fist.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
A little bit.
Because it's like, hey, if you were technically the first line of defense in protecting your little brother and your mom, and you just get murked super hard while you're just trying to play outside, that might give you a couple hang-ups. I don't know. Maybe would seek out power to protect anything. Yeah, and it might make you a little crazy, and you eventually just kind of forget about the protecting part, and just the power part is the only thing that's left in your, I don't know, like diseased, corruption-riddled brain, to the point that that's all you can think of, and so you do something really, really drastic, like separating your human and demon selves. I don't know. You might have a few problems. I just love that you and I were both like, oh yeah, by the end of 3, like, you know, Dante and Virgil have made peace with themselves, and this is growth going forward. No, they still just fucking hate each other. It's amazing. No. It's so much better than I could have ever dreamed. Like, it is so, just the mere fact, I can't get over it. 1, Dante calls Virgil an asshole to his face, which rules. 2, when they get back from, like, Virgil, like, reuniting with himself, he just kind of, like, power walks past Trish, and he's like, my douchebag brother is back from the dead! Which is a great line. And then, that whole bit is great, because, like, Trish and Lady are like, wait, what? Virgil's what? I thought Virgil was dead, and he's still just walking along. Like, he won't explain anything. He's like, I gotta deal with this now, I guess. And they're like, what? You should probably explain things to people, Dante. It really would have saved everybody. Oh, I mean, that's the cool... God, don't get me started. We're going to be here. It's the coolest thing about DMC5 is that it makes it really blatant that Dante is wrong. Yeah. Like, the hero of the franchise at the end of the game is, like, wrong in his approach. Like, that's awesome. That is so... Like, that's just great storytelling. It's great to be like, well, Virgil's got his hang-ups, but so does Dante. They both they go about this, like, really irrational people who aren't willing to just sit down and talk. They aren't willing to have, like, you know, any kind of come-to-Jesus moment with each other. They just want to fight it out. That's the only way they know how to, like, process the world, in a way. And so you have to have an external force who's willing to step between them and be like, I am ending this sibling rivalry today. To literally get between them. Yeah. So and cool. I also gotta say, I do love Virgil's dumbass logic. If I beat Nero, then I beat you too. And Dante's just tired. He's like, fine. Yeah. Dante just got, like, he calls it, he's like, you know, that bitch slap nearly killed me, which is a great line reading from Reuben Langdon. But Dante says that, and Virgil internalizes that as, this boy is stronger than Dante, it seems. It's like, Virgil's boneheaded dipshit logic. No, honey, you're not just the lesson you're supposed to take from that, dude. What was that? What was that post we saw on Twitter? It was by Dairaketo. Was it him? Who is like, Virgil and Dante are both dumbasses, and it's just that one is willing to accept it and the other isn't. That's exactly it. That's it. You did it. You boiled it down to its essence. Congratulations. I've never, this game, like, does it harder than anyone else, where it's just
they're Goku and Vegeta.
They're just Goku and Vegeta. They're both just idiots, and all they want to do is fight each other.
You can say it as much as you want, but Vegeta's still a dumbass. He's still a complete power-hungry, fight-heavy dumbass.
That's it. That's all Virgil is, too. He's dumb, and he reads poetry, and I love him more than anybody in the world.
I will never get over that whole exchange of just... so if I beat Nero, then by proxy I beat you, Dante. And Dante goes, whatever, I'm sitting this one out. And he just lays back down.
He just lays on the ground because he's so tired. It's so great. It's so great. And the coolest thing, God, you've gotten me started now. I've pulled my lore nerd devil trigger. The cool thing is that when Nero beats Virgil, Nero has effectively freed Virgil from that hang-up. Like, you know what? If this kid can beat me, then, like, what does it matter? Like, what does fighting Dante to the death even matter?
It's that thing where it's like, Dante and Virgil want to prove who's the strongest, right? Well, now there's someone tougher than you.
They're tougher. He's tougher than both of you.
Yeah, like, he won.
He won. You both. Dante got his shit, got his teeth knocked out of his head. Virgil got his shit pushed in. Like,
so it's pointless. The rivalry is now pointless because neither of you can be number one.
So now you're just fighting each other for fun because you still enjoy doing it, but there's no longer like an intent to kill each other. Like before, the intent was always, I will kill you one day.
Right.
And now, like, Nero has basically freed both of his idiot family members of like that need to kill each other to prove themselves.
Goku and Vegeta.
It's just Goku and Vegeta.
But no, this is such a better way than the God of War, the cycle of violence must end from Kratos.
Right.
Yeah. Because it's like, Nero doesn't want them to stop fighting. Whatever, they like fighting,
Yeah.
Who
is he to judge? He likes fighting too.
Yeah, it's stop trying to kill each other. It's pointless.
Yeah, this like pointless fighting has like destroyed both of your lives. Mm-hmm. Like it is a thing that neither of you can let go of. Dante sees his brother back from the... Here's the thing. He knows that like V is a pretty okay guy, kind of a weirdo, but like an okay guy. Urizen is his brother's like fucked up, damaged, demonic side. And when they reunite, Virgil is standing there and he hasn't done anything yet. He picks up a book and is like, oh, hey, that's my book. That's cool. And that's it. And Dante is the first one to go on the attack.
Right.
So, like, even in this moment where it's like, oh, shit, my brother who I killed 20 years ago is in front of me, my first instinct is to try and kill him.
Is to pick up where we left off.
Yeah, is to just get right back to it and just assume the worst, and you're like, yeah, okay, so Virgil was intending the worst, but still, it's like a thing that has, like, kind of torpedoed both of their lives, and Nero just steps in and is like, it's over, we're done.
Yeah.
It's so cool. It's so cool. I could talk about
great.
it forever. It's so cool.
So good.
It is real. Bingo Morihashi was like, this is my best story I've ever written, and like, except for the stumbling block at the very, very end, he's right. Like, this is some pretty smart writing.
Alright, so let's get through this rest of this card though.
Cool.
Next one we didn't get Kamiya character reference. There wasn't any, unfortunately.
Yeah,
no Bayonetta reference at all.
Nope.
Would have been cool, but we can't have everything.
Right.
Virgil DLC probably actually is gonna happen.
Definitely happening. Like,
they data mined Virgil already.
They data mined Virgil already, and I was telling you today, you can put... How's it work? You can take Virgil's player ID and put it on top of Nero, and
it works.
You can play as Virgil in the game. He has a limited move set, but he has a functional move set. It's not like he's doing Nero's attacks. He's got his judgment cuts. He's got like his own version of Stinger and stuff like that. It's like an actual functional Virgil, like playable Virgil. So yeah, Virgil DLC is happening.
DLC is coming. Like, it's gonna be coming. They're not gonna waste Dan Southworth like that.
No, God, no. He's only in this scene. He's only in this game for like 5 minutes. They're gonna They're gonna put that man to better use. He sounds so good in this game. Next.
Kyrie is pregnant.
Until
we don't know, do we?
Until that girl is in like a Schrodinger's box. She both is and is not until we see her. So you should show us, Capcom. Show me the girl.
They were cowards to not actually put her on screen at any time.
Yeah, give Kyrie a design. Come on. Maybe we'll get that in DLC too. I'm really hoping we get some story DLC like we get in other Capcom games. I'm like fingers crossing super hard about that one.
Yeah. Next one is another one we totally missed.
Oh.
The Devil Bringer is bad actually, and that's why Virgil took it from Nero. Nope.
But I'm going to argue for this one, buddy. Okay. Until Virgil lopped off Nero's arm, Nero was always going to have an inferior... I mean, as cool as the stand is, and the stand is incredibly cool, it is an inferior Devil Trigger compared to, like, what Dante and Virgil had. So, the catalyst for Nero getting a true Devil Trigger is to lose the Devil Bringer. So, you could maybe say that the Devil Bringer is bad, actually.
That's not what we meant, and you know it.
Damn it.
You and I both know we thought it was going to be like, oh, Virgil knows that the Devil Bringer is actually going to corrupt Nero in some way, and like
I really thought it would. I really I had a whole thing in my head.
We expected so much better of Virgil than we ended up getting.
I really expected better out of Virgil. It's like, you've been dead for 20-something years. No, I should know better. It's like, I like these characters because they suck. Why do I want them to not suck? The whole point is that they suck. Anyways.
Like, we had our prediction, but we're like, but it ended up being fine because, like, it's great anyway that Virgil just sucks.
Virgil just kind of sucks, and it's okay. It makes him endearing, and we got V out of the deal, and yeah.
You know what? He did soften up when he actually learned that Nero is his kid.
He did. I mean, he still ran him through. He still ran him through with Yamato immediately after. But whatever. That's just how they hug people in the Sparta family.
He knew it would be okay.
He'd be fine. Look, he saw the kid with the Devil Trigger. He's like, oh, cool. I can stab him now.
Yeah. He's stab worthy. All right.
And I mean, there is still that nice moment where he thanks Nero. As, for helping him as V. It's like, oh, that's nice. And he doesn't even know Nero's his kid at that point. He's just thanking Nero because Nero did him a solid. That's nice. A nice moment.
Next one is V gets tattoos from defeating bosses, which we also didn't get that one.
He doesn't get anything from defeating bosses. That kind of sucks. Kind of wish he had gotten something. I was really hoping for a phantom, like, familiar. I was really, really hoping we'd get Phantom as a familiar at some point.
I wanted that too.
Or like a horde of baby phantoms. It'd be cool if he had like a little like skittering horde of like little teeny tiny lava spider. Nope, nothing. Oh well.
And then the last one is another weird one.
Oh boy.
I don't know. V gets a real name? I mean,
technically
already had one.
I mean, I mean, his real name is Virgil, so I'm giving us that one.
Yeah, I'll take that one.
Okay, I'll take it so that we can at least have a pretty good ratio of right and wrong, you know? So,
yeah.
I mean,
we did okay. Let me do a count. Let me do a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Count the free space.
13. I did. Okay. Count the free space, so 13.
Okay. Out of 25?
Out of 25, yeah. So, it's not bad. Not bad. A little over half.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, you know what? I'm counting it as a win. I'm saying that you and I are Devil May Cry oracles, and you should come to us from now on for all of your predictions about the franchise. And I will not give you any of those. I'll actually probably just cry at you for like another hour about how much I love all of these characters, which is really all it boils down to. Yeah. Yeah. It's so good.
So fucking good.
I'm not even remotely done. I'm not even halfway through working through all of the like complicated feelings, because it's like God, the plot is pretty good. We gotta bring up, it ends really abruptly.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, boy, I could have gone for like 5 more missions, you know?
Like
at the end, like the ending part, mission. It just needed a little bit more, like conclusion.
It needed one more boss fight, because the thing with the Virgil Nero fight is it's a victory lap.
Yeah, it's way easier than the Dante one.
Yeah, because I mean, Nero is constantly generating DT. So you can just heal all the time, and you know, it's way easier. I get that it's a victory lap, but I don't know. It feels like in Devil May Cry, the victory lap should come before the really hard final boss, you know? Like, in a way. I mean, like, the Arkham boss fight in 3 is really bad, but it is a victory lap when it's Virgil and Dante versus Arkham, you know?
Yeah.
So you kind of have, like, that triumphant moment, and then you end the game on the catharsis of really overcoming a struggle. So I don't know. I feel like there should have been some other boss. I'm really hoping again for some kind of plot. My dream DLC, Ben, is a plot DLC of Dante and Virgil buddy cop adventures in hell.
I want Virgil's Ascension DLC.
The funny thing is, they're not even remotely trapped. I mean, they still have Yamato. Yamato can cut a hole in time and space.
I mean, like at any time, like, you get the ending bit where Lady and where Trish are like, is he coming back at all? And they're like, well, maybe he is. And then Morrison's like, you got to pay the electricity bill.
You guys have still got to pay the rent. It's like, oh man. But like, they can come back literally whenever they want. There's nothing stopping them. I'm sure after a certain point, Virgil is so tired of Dante's shit, he's like, I will open a portal for you to go through to get the fuck out of my hair, please. I really want a story mission. I want a story DLC also because I want, like, Virgil to swear.
Yes,
that's the last character. We gotta get it, man.
He's gotta swear. He's gotta say bad words.
We gotta get. They're all rude now. That's the thing. Everybody in Devil May Cry is rude now, and it works really well in this game versus DMC. And I don't have time to explain why. You're just gonna have to believe me when I say that it does. So we only have one character left. We gotta get an F-bomb out of Virgil. I need Dan Southworth to say what the fuck at some point. Because as the old Cartoon Network board for Adventure Time says, there's nothing really better than a well-placed what the fuck. You know? I just really want... What I want... If we're getting into, like, true heart's desire, I want Nico to somehow end... We barely talked about Nico!
Oh my god, we're gonna have to do a follow-up at some point.
At some point, we'll have to. Once all the DLC is out, we'll have another episode. But what I want is for somehow Nico to drive the van through a wall in hell and be like, howdy, y'all! Y'all need a ride? And then it's just, like... Nico and Dante and Virgil trying to cut down the roots of the tree or something like that. And so you have, like, Virgil trapped in this crazy van with his horrible brother and this, like, psychotic redneck. And he's like, get me the fuck out of here now. That's what I want. You know?
I want that very badly now.
I want some sick bants between the brothers Sparta now that they're not trying to kill each other. Because the ending of the Stinger ending... it's my heart's true love. It's the only thing I've ever truly loved in my life, actually. It's the best. I love that Virgil says, where did you learn to count? It's so great. It is one of those amazing, it's up there with, like, give me that. No, you've got your own.
It's so petty.
It's so petty. It's the ideal, like, sibling moment. Like, they finally had it because, like, we've had God, Nico and Nero are basically like the ideal They did it. They discovered true friendship energy. It's when Nero says, "Do you know where that's been?" And Nico says, "Up your butt."
Yeah. Oh, it's the best.
They did it. They found true friendship energy in that moment. It's like, oh man, these two love each other. They die for each other, even though they talk shit constantly. I want that, but with Sparta twins. So.
I do too. Oh god. All right, we've gotta.
We're not done. We're not done.
We've got to put it on pause, though. I mean,
we gotta put it on hold. We didn't even talk about bosses. Because there's a lot of really good ones. Cavalier.
When the DLC comes out.
Fine, we'll do another episode.
We'll have to do a whole other thing. Because if we keep going, this will be like 3 hours long.
We've done 3-hour episodes before. I know it's late. Leave me alone. I just have a lot of feelings right now, okay? God, it's so good. Okay, we're done. We're done.
It's so fucking... Devil May Cry 5 is a great game, guys. Capcom fucking did it again.
Unless something absurd happens this year, it's Game of the Year. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's like my last thing I'll say about Devil May Cry is unless something happens and some future game down the line comes out and like if Bayonetta 3 drops and is somehow better than Devil May Cry, I highly doubt that it will be. But if it somehow comes out and it's amazing, then it'll be amazing. But otherwise, there's nothing else on the release slate for the rest of the year, and it's only March, that even remotely even piques my interest to the degree that Devil May Cry is. So, until further notice, there you go. You've already got my call. I'm already calling Devil May Cry Goaty.
Yep.
So.
There's a fucking great pick for it.
Yeah, it's great. So, okay. We gotta wrap it up.
All right, we gotta save room for the next one.
Yeah, I know. There's more. There's gonna be more. We're not done.
There's gonna be more. We're gonna talk about Devil May. There's gonna be a Devil May Cry 5 Part 2.
It's gonna happen. Just give us time. So.
Give us time to beat it again. All right. Thank you to Broke Free for use of background music. You can follow us on Twitter. Or you can follow me on Twitter at The Gorge Podcast. You can follow Sara at radioinactivity. You can email us at thegorgepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want more wacky woohoo adventures, you can listen to Sarah's other podcast.
Hey, I'm in another podcast called Big Gay Nerds, where me and a bunch of cool queer friends get together and we play tabletop games. Right now we're playing Fate Core, a system that rules and a pre-generated adventure with a twist that is so fucking bonkers that even after Devil May Cry 5, it made my head spin. So yeah, you should come check us out. We're at Big Gay Nerds on SoundCloud, and you can find the links to the rest of our social media from there. Thanks.
All right, that'll do it for us.
Oh, I got this one.
You got one? Okay.
Yeah. Fuck Virgil, but also I mean like fuck Virgil. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Mm-hmm. I know what you mean, man. Mm-hmm. Daddy.
Extremely daddy. People I know, people who know me in the real world, like listen to this podcast and they're gonna hear this part and be like, oh, Sarah. But no, he's so stupid and so hot. He's the perfect man. He reads poetry, for God's sake. He's the perfect man. That's it. This game is just solidified. Like, this is the best character. So yeah, fuck Virgil, but also like fuck Virgil. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.